making jambalaya today, and it's a bit like a paella if you've ever had, or like a savoury rice even really. It's a bit of a take on Spanish's attempt to make a paella when they in America. So it's that sort of theme about it. And like most of the things I make, you can modify it to have what the kind of ingredients you have in the cupboard or the things you like. Mine I'm using chicken thighs. The difference between chicken thighs and chicken breasts, apart from obviously being from a different part of the bird, is chicken breast is much more tender, but it can dry out quite quickly. So in something like this, it can dry out. So if you find that your chicken when you're eating it feels a bit hard to chew and it's a bit dry, maybe you should try chicken thighs instead. And they tend to stand a longer cooking. But they also do cook quite quickly as well for stir fries and things, which I've used quite recently and it's worked quite well. So, you know, you just have to try these things out. So, first job is to brown the chicken. Now, I've cut my thighs up into half, and I've got quite a few here. If you want corn fillets or you want to do lots of vegetables, that's absolutely fine. And all I've done is brown them, and then I'm taking them out of the pan and into a bowl. And I'm going to put into the sizzling pan, I'm going to put in my onion, my red pepper, my crushed garlic, and my sliced red pepper. If you like a different colour of pepper, or you've got loads of different, like a whole packet with different ones in there, use them all. You know, you can, traditionally is red, but it's really up to you. You can use any colour you want. The red one it's very similar family. It's often the same type of pepper, it's just riper than the green and the yellow and the orange. So that goes into the oil that is left from the chicken, and I'm just sautéing them around as usual. I'm just going to show you chorizo. Now I'm not too sure whether you've got sliced chorizo in your hamper, or whether you've got like sausage type. This is, if you get this type, you can get spicy, you can get plain. It's like £2, £2.50, depends where you get it from, for like a large sausage. And I've cut mine into chunks. I quite like it chunky and something like this. So I'm putting it down the middle, and you may find it has a sort of skin. Now it's edible, like a casing. But I usually just take that off, because it can be a little bit chewy. It will cook in this sort of dish, but if you find you don't like it when you're eating it, it feels a bit tough, and take it off. If you've got the circles of chorizo, which you put on like pizza, or you might, sandwiches or anything like that, you can just cut those up or tear them up, and they go in. Now the chorizo, I'm getting better at saying it the more I say it, I think. Has got little bits of fat in it, so that releases as it heats up into the onion and the garlic and the peppers, so it adds a little bit more fat in there. You don't need to add a load of oil, and it also is sometimes quite spicy, so if you don't want a spicy one, you just look for the plain ones. So it's a really nice, easy kind of thing to have in your fridge or your cupboard to throw in to stews and casseroles in particular. It goes really nice with chicken. Okay, so that's sautéing off now. It's looking nice. The onions are going softer and more translucent. Okay, and as soon as you're kind of happy with that, we need to add the spices. Now, I think you're getting Cajun seasoning, which is this one, and it's just linking in with the theme. If you didn't have this, you could use anything really that you've got, like chili pepper, paprika, things that we've used before. But things like cumin and turmeric and garam masala, they're more curry flavoured, so it's not really traditional with this type of dish, but you could try it. I really hope through these videos that you're getting more confident at preparing home-cooked meals that are healthier because you know what's going into them. They're cheaper because you can make more of them, and you can buy lots of ingredients and you can freeze leftovers really easily. But I also hope it's giving you confidence just to think, oh yeah, I'll try that. There is an Indian dish called a biryani, which is very similar to this, but you use curry powder instead of Cajun, and it's cooked with rice. And that's, you know, lots of cultures have similar dishes, just with different flavourings. So, my Cajun seasoning has got a bit of jam together. So I think it's about a tablespoon of this. So it's about 3 teaspoons to, getting distracted by cookie again. 3 teaspoons to a tablespoon. And when you taste this later, or taste the sauce, or even a little bit of the onion, something you don't obviously taste the chicken until it's cooked. You can always add a little bit more in, and I like quite a lot of spice, so I'm going to just put all flavour, so I'm going to put a bit more in. Okay, so that Cajun goes in. Also, a pinch of salt. Now, if you're trying to cut down on the salt, obviously think about how much you're adding, or don't add it. You develop that kind of taste rather than born with it, so if you're cooking for young children, you really restrict that and then they don't get used to it. Okay, and then, I'm trying to remember what I do, I'm going to put the chicken back in, and the chicken will have released some juices. So whether it's chicken breast or chicken thigh, that can go back in to the pan. Get all that nice flavour, all the vegetables mixed in. Okay, and then we're going to add, I mean, that on its own, if you put a tin of tomatoes in, would just be like a chicken casserole, or even just chicken stock. If you use a couple of chicken stock cubes and some water, that's like a basic, lovely tasting chicken casserole. But we're going to have a 1-pot meal, and I'm going to put the rice in here. Now, I'm just going to overdo that. Rice. You can buy rice really cheaply. Long grain rice this is. There's lots of different types of rice. I can just show you. This is long grain, and you can see that basically, surprise, surprise, it's got a longer grain than short grain, which is fat and round, and that's more for rice pudding. You can also buy risotto rice, sushi rice. There's loads and loads of different rice. Cameraman, thank you. Lots and lots. A bit distracted. I'm going to sack her after this one because this is my last video. Lots and lots of different kinds of rice, and they cook in different ways. Indian rice is basmati, and you might have tried sticky rice, which is from Thailand traditionally. So lots of different types. But this recipe, long grain, is better. This is kind of, I don't know how to describe it, it's just normal dry, store-cupboard dry, uncooked, that's the word, long grain rice. And it's 250 grams, and I've just measured it in a mug to show you that if you don't have scales, it's about a normal mugful. And that's going to go, tip it in, and think about it, it's dry, so if there's not, it needs to be coated in that nice oil and juices from the chicken. If your pan's too high, the rice will start to stick because it is a dry food, so just be aware of that. So if it starts to stick at the bottom, especially in the middle, look how I'm using my fish slice to kind of make sure everything's loose, you will have a pan to wash up at the end, and you'll know about it. Okay, now if you don't want, in future, if you don't want to use that kind of rice, although that's only a quarter of a packet, so it's really economical, you can buy the ready cooked rice already, and you could just pop that in towards the end of cooking. Break it up. This is a whole grain one as well, like a healthy one. You can try and get the long grain or basmati ones that are separate grains are better for this dish rather than the sticky rice. And you could just throw that in at the end, and it would be really easy to do. All I'm going to do now is add liquid, because the rice is dry. It needs that moisture to absorb and become soft. Okay, so the tomatoes go in. If you're not keen on tomatoes, you don't need to add them. And then we're going to add stock. Now, I said to you last time, basically, you use your tin as a measuring if you want to, and at this stage it's 400 grams, which is the same as the tomato measurement, of water. And it looks like quite a lot, but the rice is going to absorb that liquid. So I'm sprinkling in my OXO. OXO's a crumbly stock. If you've got a solid stock cube, it will still dissolve in the hot liquid, but if you want to do it first in hot water, that's up to you. You can put 1 in, you can put 2 in. I wouldn't put any more than 2 in. They're quite salty if you're not careful. So I know, as I said before, I quite like seasoned things, so I'm going to put 2 in to start with, and I won't put any more in. I'll be happy with that. So just crumble it up. It will dissolve in the hot water as it's cooking. And basically now, you can put salt, a bit of pepper in. If you want to put some herbs in, you can try those as well. But basically that is your basic dish. Pop the lid on. If you haven't got a lid for a frying pan that you're using, you can use tin foil and just put it over the top and make a lid with the tin foil. Okay? So that's going to go on there. I'm going to keep an eye on it because it's quite important with this one because of the rice. If the rice will absorb the liquid and it could stick on the bottom of the pan. So it's important, give it a stir every 5 minutes just to keep an eye on it. There is another way of cooking it. If you wanted to pop the whole lot into the oven on about 180 and leave it in the oven, it's a more gentler kind of heat. You've not got that heat from the stove, and the rice is less likely to stick on the bottom and possibly burn. So keep an eye on it. It's one of those that you can't just leave it like sausage casserole and ragu and stuff. You've got to keep a little bit of an eye on it. But keep the temperature low, give it a stir now and again, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. So the dish has been on the stove for about 20 minutes. The chicken's definitely cooked and the rice will have absorbed the liquid. I did put about another half a can of water in just before the end of cooking. So now when you look at the finished product, I've put some chopped parsley on top just to add a bit of colour, and I've done some cherry tomatoes. I just put those in as well. So the rice will be nice and soft. It has stuck a little bit in the middle, even with stirring it now and again, but it makes quite a substantial dish. Okay, so you can flavour that however you like, with the Cajun, or if you prefer the curry or the chilli or the paprika, that sort of flavouring. So I hope you've enjoyed the sessions, and I hope you reuse the videos, or at least give me some ideas to use. And I'm being put off now completely by people. Before we go, I'm just going to show you my new puppy. This is Frank, and this is why I have been distracted for some of the YouTube clips I've been doing. So you want to see a bit of that? I bet you do, you're not going to. Right, so have a nice summer, and I'll see you soon. Bye!